I'm getting money, you see me. Stack it up to the ceiling. If you're looking for me, you know just where to find me. I'm on a pod with TC, with TC. Oh, I'm on a pod with TC, with TC.
All right, welcome. This is Financial Literacy with TC. I'm your boy TC. As always, I want to thank you guys for joining me. So many podcasts you choose to tune into, but you always choose to come back to mine. I'm so appreciative of that. I am so excited to have my guest today. But before I introduce her, I want to make sure you guys remember to like, subscribe, and share. Again, this platform is about providing Black representation when we're talking about finances, specifically business owners and representation in our communities. We want to make sure we're uplifting Black ownership and Black spaces, and make sure we're highlighting individuals who are doing phenomenal things in the community to uplift us as a people. So with that being said, my guest today is a mother, a wife. She is also the owner of S&S Chocolatez. As you can see behind me, this phenomenal pretzel logo got me hungry. She's also been a nurse for many years. She's just better overall lifestyle for those in the nursing occupation. So she is to be commended for that. And then also she's also a vendor. She's done a ton of vending events. She's known in the community as the Black Chocolatier. She's also known as the Chocolate Lady, Pretzel Lady. She has a lot of different names out there. She's also known for doing some advocacy work at Nobleman. She's done a ton of events there. So Nobleman Cigar Lounge, shout out to them. And she's also getting ready for some promotion she has going on for Valentine's Day. We know that's in about a month. And then she also does phenomenal things when it comes to being out in these communities, making sure that she's uplifting and empowering business owners. She is also a graduate of Catapult Greater Pittsburgh culinary class. We are classmates, and we graduated this past year's cohort. So we're going to dive into a little bit of that. But with all that being said, I want to thank my guest, Stacey Sherer of S&S Chocolatez. Stacey, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me. That was a great introduction. So I'm just going to elaborate on that just a little bit more.
Please do, yes.
So my name is Stacey Sherer, and I am the owner and operator of S&S Chocolatez with a Z, and I specialize in flavored chocolate. So what sets me apart from all the other chocolatiers in the city is that I am a dipper, not a baker. I don't bake anything. I dip anything from a pretzel to a Twizzler. I do specialize in flavored chocolate. I do a strawberry, lemon, which is my number one seller, which I have here. Yeah. I do a banana chocolate that most people are not aware that I do. Any type of flavor you want me to do, I can make that happen.
Love it.
So, and right now, because it is the cold season,
right,
cold weather, I also specialize in cocoa and coffee bombs.
I love it.
So, and if you are not familiar with what that is, it is a shell of chocolate. On the inside, it has cocoa powder and marshmallows. You put it in your mug, you add hot milk, and boom.
Yes.
You have your cocoa. But then if you are a coffee drinker, which I drink coffee.
I'm a coffee drinker.
Likewise. It is a shell of chocolate. It has instant powdered coffee, powdered creamer, in a chocolate shell. You add your hot water and you have your coffee.
Yes, and I'm not even gonna hold y'all. My wife bought one recently, and she loved it. So
thank you.
That by far is probably our favorite, the cocoa bombs. So I'm glad you shared that, because one of the things that I want to make sure I emphasize is, so we've been at many events together.
Right. Yes.
Most recently, I bought my wife the cocoa bomb. I think it was around December. Yeah, she loves that, because she loves hot chocolate. And then at when we did the Emerald City Greenwood Plan Week, I bought the lemon pretzels.
Lemon flavor.
So I'm definitely giving them a shout out and saying those are some two of the best things that she sells. So
thank you very much.
So before we dive into the questions, I always like to give people context on how we met, and we've known each other for years. So I'm a little taken back.
I don't even remember when we met.
I know.
When did we meet?
Yeah, so I'm gonna go my fondest memory.
Okay.
Which was, it was definitely probably Nobleman, and we were at Shout out to Motivational Mondays, Bernard, because he always does a phenomenal job getting people together. But I just remember a time we had with, and I forget what event it was, but it was definitely an event where we were able to connect, talk about what we're doing. And then that's when I learned just about how S&S Chocolate is moving, what's your goals, things of that nature. And then that relationship kind of kept flourishing as we kept always being at Nobleman, seeing each other at other events, and then just seeing how you're starting to move in your space, how I move in my space. And that's kind of how, we collabed and, been friends ever since. And then recently we shared 9 months with the Catapult Greater Pittsburgh cohort. So it's just been like an evolving relationship. And that's why I was so excited to have you on, because I know every time I talk to you, I'm hearing so much great feedback and people are enjoying what you're doing. You've continued to grow in your business and in your space. And I'm like, ooh, I definitely want to be a part of her growth and help in any way I can. So even if it's just going onto your Facebook page and trying to get more people to like and subscribe and, just understand more about what S&S Chocolatez is doing. At the very least, that's what I'm doing. But then also when I see you at events, I'm buying some stuff. You helped me out huge when it came to, I think it was Mother's Day or Father's Day. I forget which one that was. You were at the Hill District block party.
For August Wilson.
Wilson. This is another purchase I made, and you had phenomenal, I don't even want to call them baskets because they weren't that.
Those were my trays.
It
was just a tray. Yes. I try to do things outside of the norm.
Got you.
I don't want to do what everybody else is doing, or if I have to look at it and be like, let me put my own little twist on that. Because most people just do a basket.
Right.
But mine, it was a tray.
Yeah, and that tray was phenomenal. I forgot.
Can't remember what was on that tray.
It was wine. It was definitely it was Stella Rosa. And it was
It was Stella Rosa, some wine glasses, the tray itself, a citronella candle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that was like my outdoor tray.
Yeah.
So I can tell you, because my spiel for that is, if you buy this tray, you set it outside on your patio or your deck. You have your tray, your candle, your wine, your glasses, and cheers.
Yes.
There you go.
That thing was the bomb, because we not only was it gifted and presented in an elegant way, it just popped. The color schemes you had with it, everything just made it look great. So,
So I need to bring those back.
Yeah, for sure. So let's jump right into it. What inspired you to start S&S Chocolatez, and how do you develop your unique product? You kind of already answered that question though, but let's just start with, how
I got started, it's been about 8 years.
Okay.
That I actually started doing this. So my BFF, her name is Lonnie.
Shout out to
Lonnie, because this wouldn't be if it wasn't for her.
Right.
So her son was having a baby, first grandchild in the family. And he said, well, we want you to do the baby shower. And we were like, we don't know anything about doing the baby shower.
Right.
This is before all these elaborate baby showers started.
Yeah.
So, and she was like hooked on chocolate covered pretzels. She wanted chocolate. So we went to like Joanne Fabrics or Michael's.
Right.
We bought some molds, we bought some chocolate, and we just figured it out. And I said, hey, this is a little bit relaxing. It was fun.
Right.
So that's how it got started. So from there, I just started doing stuff.
Right.
Just playing around with it. So if you invited me to something, my gift to you was going to be the chocolate.
Yeah.
And then somebody was like, oh, you should charge. No, Todd was like, you need to start charging for this.
Your husband, Todd.
He was like, because you're spending all this money.
Right.
And you're not getting anything in return.
Right.
So when I tell you, it's still a lot of trial and error. It is still a lot of trial and error, because as far as the chocolates, I used to get my chocolate from Packatan.
Okay.
I then went from Packatans to Michael's to Joanne Fabrics to Restaurant Depot to now I have a supplier and my chocolate comes from Wisconsin.
Okay.
So it's a little bit of a higher end brand of chocolate. But I mean, like I said, it's trial and error. And right now it has been working. I've been with the supplier going on 2 years.
And I'm glad you shared that, because I think this is something that can be talked about in every industry. All things aren't created equal. Like, so every
Right.
chocolate isn't the same. So,
Right.
and I'm not, imagine I'm no chocolate expert or anything, but I can tell the difference between some cheap, terrible tasting chocolate versus some high quality, creamy, from Russia type,
Not Russia though.
I mean, or Swiss, my bad, Swiss, not Russia, Swiss chocolate. I mean, you can taste the difference. And I would say in every industry, there's a difference, or there's a premium, and then there's a very cheap kind of anything.
Right.
Cheap service, cheap brand, cheap whatever. And there's more where it's upscale. So I think that's something that people get lost, especially in our community.
Right.
They be
Yeah, everybody think, oh, you should use the higher price in a brand name.
Right.
So I went from the cheapest to the highest, and now I'm just like in the middle.
Right.
Because the higher brand chocolate that I was using, nobody liked it. But then I think it was also because we weren't used to it.
Right.
Also, but then I didn't like it either.
Right.
So I was like, all right, let me play around. So over the
got you.
years, I have done, I don't know how many times I have changed brands and did this and get one good supplier, and it's like, oh, they're out of stock, they're not making it, so then I got to try another one.
Right.
So I'm like constantly still playing in this game,
Right.
and sometimes it could be very challenging.
Got you. So you actually answered one of my questions I was going to ask, just how you transitioned from what you were doing previously to now. So I'm kind of going to move on to some of the top sellers, because I know we have a few of the most popular ones. But what kind of when you get somebody or you get a group of people or you do an event where like, oh, this sold out or that sold out, how do you kind of calculate which ones you're going to continue to push more, or like, just because I know you do a ton of different things. I've been on your Facebook page, and
I'm always somewhere different. So the market is different depending on where I go.
Okay.
So actually, I can say the Coco bombs is the number one bestseller. So I pushed those pretty much from the month of like September all the way up until like March, April.
Gotcha.
So then the lemon pretzels. So what gets people with the lemon flavored pretzels, they taste like the penny cookies from back in the day.
Okay.
And you're probably too young to even know what those are.
I'm familiar. I'm familiar with them.
Okay,
yeah.
So people have told me that that's what that flavor reminds them of, even though it's on a pretzel.
Got you.
So, and then the next best-selling thing would be the chocolate covered strawberries.
Okay.
Yeah,
and
it's funny because when I started, it was all about the pretzels and the molds and doing the suckers and all of the things. And somebody said, do strawberries. I said, I don't want to do strawberries.
Right.
And then I did them, and they've been a hit because I'll infuse them, I'll decorate them, I'll do all of the things.
Yeah, for sure. No, and I love that. So recently you did and you can correct me if I'm wrong. So December holiday time, you were at the Black Market.
The Pittsburgh Black Market with Shayla Hawkins.
Yes.
Yes.
Shout out to her for doing a phenomenal job that she does. Just talk about a little bit how that went, the experience.
So this year with that, it was out of this world.
Okay.
I've been with Shayla. This was my 5th year doing her event, but this year it was actually in Station Square at the holiday market.
Gotcha. So
the tourists, the trolley, the trolley train, whatever you want to call it, came through 3 times in a day. Or people from Pittsburgh, then the Steeler games, people from out of town. It was just an amazing experience. So I was down there from Thursday to Sunday. I sold out every single day. When I tell you, I did not sleep for 3 days.
Right.
Because as soon as we got done, because you get there at like 10 o'clock in the morning, you leave at 9 o'clock at night.
Right.
By the time I got home, it's like 10 o'clock at night. And then from there on, I get situated and I'm up all night making more product.
Right.
So that experience was the best experience, but then also the worst experience because I didn't get no sleep. My feet were hurting, but it was definitely worth it.
Well, and I love that you shared that for 2 reasons. So one, definitely if obviously we just came off that season, but going into next year is a great opportunity for anybody who's in the space of selling product of any kind. You need to tap in with her so that way, you can experience a great season and be able to, make some money. But second off, understanding that, and this kind of will segue into our experience with the Catapult Greater Pittsburgh cohort, is understanding that you've been operating by yourself for 8 years, and you've started to, build your business out to where now it's like, oh, I have a brand and now I want to start getting help and I can start, doing this and doing that. So I think that gave you a level of exposure of, oh, how can I start to make this operational to where I don't necessarily have to.
I definitely will be phoning a friend.
Yeah.
Definitely having
For
somebody
sure.
else coming in to help me.
No, but that's phenomenal, and I'm glad that you were able to have that level of success. Because a lot of times, so I think the most recent one I seen you too was when I bought my wife's Coco Bomb at Nobleman Cigar Lounge. You were doing a table there, and you do a great job. And this is just my personal observation. You do a great job educating people on not only just the product, but just on how they can use it in different aspects and lights. Because you also do jams.
Yes.
And so I wanted you to hit on that a little bit.
So this right here, this is my homemade strawberry jam. This is yours, by the way.
Oh,
so, yes. So this is my homemade strawberry jam. I make it from scratch. I have my own little twist that I add to it. It's more like a sweet tart type of taste. I had leftover strawberries one day, and my husband and my grandson love strawberries. They were like, "Oh, you should try to make some jam." And I'm like, "How am I gonna make jam?"
Right.
So I looked it up, and I was like, "Yeah, that's how everybody does it." So let me add my own little twist, my own little secret ingredient to it.
That.
And I've been making, and the process for making this is very long and tedious. So this is the quick method.
Right.
Quick method, like I put it on Facebook. You see me cutting them up and boiling it, but it can take up to 48 hours to make a jar jam.
Wow.
Because it needs to be canned.
Right.
So like this is called, because as soon as you do the quick method, you have to put it in the refrigerator. But when you do the canning method, you don't have to put it in the refrigerator until after you open it.
Gotcha.
So if I'm going to sell it, I need to do the canning method because it's going to sit until that person takes it home and decides to open it.
Gotcha.
So like this is not an everyday thing.
Right.
Be very privileged that you got that.
I am.
So like,
because I'm definitely more strawberry than I ever was grapes.
So that's how this came about. So it's like little things happen. Oh, here, let me try this. Let me try that. And also on the off season, you figure the summer months, nobody wants chocolate in their car because it melts.
For sure.
Yeah. So I had to come up with other things to sell add to it. So that's where like my trays come in. And that's where the candles come in, because I also do candles that compare with the lemon, the cocoa, the coffee bombs, the strawberry jam, also those throughout the year. And you probably didn't know this either, but I also do sandwich trays. I do those also.
I did not know that.
So that's I had to like add to the inventory because the chocolate doesn't sell all year at the same rate.
Correct. Yeah.
So, and then there's also outdoor events that people want me to do. And I've tried to do them and the chocolate has melted and it's just been a disaster.
Yeah.
So this year will be the second time that I will be doing an outside event, and I make homemade waffles. You probably didn't know that either.
I've seen it on your page.
Okay,
so I just learned that, but yeah.
So I make the homemade waffles that pair with the jam.
Right.
So when I go to do this outdoor event, which I'm still waiting on full details for that, I'm going to make the waffle fresh in front of you, and it's going to be a sundae.
I love that.
So like I have to keep adding to my inventory for that market, certain events, and certain times of the year.
No, and I love that because I think and this hits on, we're going to dive a little bit more into this. You've revamped yourself many times through trial and error. And one of the things that we did in the culinary cohort was learned a lot about, how to expand our business beyond just, showing up at a vendor event, putting a product out. So I kind of wanted to get your takeaway, because I know for me, when I got into the culinary program, it was just to get a good understanding on the undertaking of taking over a restaurant and a restaurant space and what that's going to entail, hiring, firing, learning about operations, the marketing side of things for it. So there was just a lot of different, classes that we had and a lot of case studies that we went over and things of that nature. So I kind of just wanted to get your opinion on what was your biggest takeaway from our whole experience working with Catapult.
So there was a lot of things that I had learned over trial and error before I got there.
Right.
But when I got into the class, it just substantiated everything. Like, oh, this is the reason why. It gave me a rationale. So like that's the nursing part of me. So there has to be a reason why this happens and that happens and why you're supposed to do things.
Right.
So it made me look at myself better.
Yeah.
And we talked about this in class, because believe it or not, I'm shy. And if you see me outside of here, you would never think that.
Right.
But like, I have a problem speaking in front of
Yes.
people. Like I told you, like I'm very nervous doing this, but I can jump on a live. I can engage a
You're doing
conversation
phenomenal
with
now.
you. Thank you. Like all day long. But it just substantiated some things. Like I needed to do more with my goals, more with my marketing, more with my presentation. But to sum it all up, I needed to up my game.
Yeah.
I needed to have more confidence in what I was doing.
Yes.
Because if you see me on the outside, it was like her table was great, her presentation, her product, she knows this. But on the inside, I'm dying like, oh my God, like I'm so nervous.
Right.
But you wouldn't think that. So that class really helped me to put more confidence in myself.
Absolutely.
And I liked it even more because you all are strangers. Well, not you per se, but like a few of our students.
There was about 18 of us. Yeah.
Right. They were strangers. They didn't know me.
Right.
They just seen what I did and was like, oh, you do a good job. And it's I like to hear it from a stranger as opposed to somebody that I know.
Right.
You know, I have people tell me all the time, oh, you do great. And I'm like, okay, or you just
But that person who don't know you,
exactly,
they're paying a whole lot more weight for sure.
You know.
Yo, and honestly, I want to give you your flowers for this, because recognizing that, you know, that's something you struggle with. You were very open about that, and you've been working and improving. And to be honest, you do lives damn near every morning. And so if you don't follow Stacey on Facebook, please do so, because you do some phenomenal lives, and they don't even be really that long, but they're like affirmations, and they're like just you talking about how you're feeling, you asking other people how they're feeling, and it's just like a positive energy. And like you said, it's something you're comfortable doing because you can control that, but it's also like giving you more and more confidence, that repetition that, oh, you can speak. And even though sometimes you need reminded that
definitely.
But you started doing things to make sure you're improving yourself with that personal development and personal growth. And a lot of times I feel like people in our community don't do that. They recognize a weakness and they keep letting it be a crutch, or they let it be a reason why they don't progress and move forward with their business or anything else they want to do, because it's a fear.
Right.
And I feel like you've done a phenomenal job trying to overcome that. Obviously you still might get nervous, you're still not, but you push yourself, and I don't know where that comes from, but you push yourself to do it anyway.
So people have that fear because it's their comfort zone.
Right.
So, and I'm going to tell you, like, I would only go to certain places. So I can say over the past couple of years, I have expanded. So like this year, I'm going out of town to do an event in March.
I love
that.
I'm
waiting for the details for that. So like, I don't know any of these people here.
Right.
And it's definitely out of my comfort zone. During the holiday market was kind of out of my comfort zone. I kind of knew what to expect, but I didn't know. So for this upcoming season, I know what to expect.
Right.
So people have to push themselves to come out of their comfort zone.
Yeah.
So when I go on my lives, not only people are like, oh, you talk about other people's businesses, because those people don't do lives.
Yeah.
Those people might be scared to do it. And there's enough growth for everybody.
Absolutely.
I try to share everybody's business, including my own, let people know what's going on in the city, where I would be at, selling my products, some other things going on. And like you said, not only it helps me, I could be helping somebody else.
Absolutely. And that does wonders, because you might boost that person's confidence, because if no one knows about you, your business is, not going to do very well. So the fact that you take time to do that is phenomenal. So I know you have a couple events coming up, if I'm not mistaken, probably into January.
Yes.
But I know you definitely got some stuff coming up for Valentine's Day.
So for the end of January, first of all, I am a member of PWN, which is Professional Women's Network.
I'm very familiar with
so
that. I love that group. Even though obviously I'm a man, so I'm not part of it. But I do get the email blast because I always want to share with my wife, so that way she can be a part. But go ahead, I'm sorry.
So no, you're fine. So they are having their 9th annual Women's Empowerment Experience on January 25th to 26th. It's called Ignite Your Passion, Light the Path to Your Dreams, and it is being held in Munhall at the Best of the Batch Foundation.
Yeah.
I will be doing that event. I will be vending, and the guest speaker is none other than Lynn Whitfield.
Yes.
So
I saw that.
I'm like so excited. Like I'm already like up in the air. Like I don't know what to put on my table because I need to cater to the women. Definitely we'll have chocolate covered strawberries because that is always a hit with the women. And it's so funny because I don't eat chocolate covered
I'm not gonna lie, I'm jealous. I'm not gonna lie, I'm jealous. Because that you gonna kill at that event.
I hope so. I'm claiming it. I will. I definitely will. So that event is coming up.
What day is it again?
January 25th and 26th. It's a weekend.
Yeah. Okay.
It's the whole weekend at the end of the month. I will be attending the Urban League's 10th anniversary autism gala.
Okay.
I'm not vending because you're not doing vendors this year, but I will be in attendance for that. So I'm gonna try to push for next year to get some vendors. So not only I can vend, I can get a few of well-known vendors that I know to come out and support for that. That is also on the 25th. So I'm vending in like all day, leaving an hour early, going to a gala, going home after the gala, making stuff and going back the next day.
Right.
Because this will definitely, I'm selling out.
Gotcha.
Like I'm claiming that already.
Yeah.
February 8th, and this is just new as of today, February 8th, I will be at World Class Tavern in Penn Hills, and myself and my god sister is hosting an event, and all the proceeds will go to breast cancer, and they are going to go to DOTS, which is DOTZ. And DOTS is my nonprofit that I'm trying to get up and going also.
I love that.
So I do hygiene bags for the 5th grade girls at Wow Elementary School. So this will be my fourth go round to donate their hygiene bags to them. So Christmas time, I did a Stiller raffle.
Right.
And all those proceeds go to her. So this event is going to be February 8th, World Class Tavern from 5 to 9 p.m. There's only going to be like maybe 5 vendors. I am doing a Valentine's Day raffle that you will get right then and there.
Got you.
So if you have some time, come up, support me, support Tanisha, because like I said, all those proceeds will go back into the breast cancer and my hygiene bags.
And I love that because, so first off, we're going to make sure everything that Stacey just listed off will be highlighted in the description under the description tab. So we'll have dates, times, and we'll have all that information. So if you didn't catch it,
it's a lot.
It'll be listed. But also, I love your community involvement and community engagement because that just highlights and elevate. One, I know you do that because you're passionate about a lot of things and giving back to the community. But you also benefit from, that is part of your brand. S&S Chocolatez being willing to, give back and help people less fortunate, and that not only does more than just elevate your brand, but it also just does a phenomenal thing to help our community. So, shout out to you for doing that because a lot of people don't, they build their brand, they build their business, but they leave that component and aspect out. And that's one of the things that I hold true and dear to my heart when I'm doing any business I'm doing or what I'm involved in. I want to make sure that care factor and giving back to the community is a part of it, no matter what that gesture looks like. So shout out to you for that. I did want to because you've always been someone who I look at when you do vendor things, and you've always been very outspoken on things that you would like to see improved in that community of vendors. So recently I had Mo Bay, shout out to her, from Ghetto Customs. Check out her episode. We just did it like maybe a month ago. She's always a vendor that's at almost every event, and you as well. And I know conversations me and you've had in the past just about, there's some people who vend and been vending for 15, 20, 30 years, but they're terrible. They're terrible. I don't even know how I want to say it, but they're not great at how they deal and move around in certain vending spaces. They're either rude and obnoxious, or they're not friendly. They don't give of themselves. Like if you ask a question and you're not necessarily interested in a product, they're very aggressive towards you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, or they're not considerate of other people next to them, just things of that nature. I know I've witnessed that, and I know a lot of times when I'm out vending, I'm paying attention to a lot of people who are in that space where they're just not being friendly, they're rude, and they're inconsiderate of others. And I know you've done a ton more vending than I've done, but you've had some thoughts in the past about that, if you're comfortable sharing.
Oh yes, I'm very comfortable with sharing that, because you have to have pop-up etiquette. It doesn't matter if this is your hobby or your business. You are still serving the community, the public. It's still a customer service.
For sure.
Because if you walked in Walmart and somebody treated you that way, you would be going off.
Right.
So do the same.
Right.
And that's so funny that you said that, because I just found a space that I'm trying to see if I can hold a master class for pop-up etiquette.
Oh, I love that.
So I'm definitely working on that. And like I said, I didn't learn this overnight.
Right.
It came through trial and error. Certain expectations need to be had, but I totally understand, because even if I'm vending, I still shop with other vendors. And if I come to your table and you're on your phone and you're eating and you don't stop and you don't stand up and you don't greet me or whatever, and I've even and I understand that some of the older vendors, you might not be able to stand up each and every time,
right?
But there's still that acknowledgement. I need to be acknowledged that I'm coming to your table, because that might determine if I buy something or not.
Exactly.
And even if I don't buy anything, I go live and I'll have people like, oh, I'm a cash app. Can you get this? Can you get that? Right. But if you're sitting there with your head down and on your phone and eating, you still need to be greeted.
Absolutely.
And that is like my pet peeve. And the presentation of your setup.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Like the whole plastic tablecloth thing. And I did that in the past.
Yeah.
But you learn to grow.
Right.
You can afford to get a nice little black linen tablecloth. It don't have to be special. You don't have to do, because I used to do themes on my table.
Okay.
So whatever the theme was that I was vending, I had all this stuff on my table, and it got to the point it just looked like junk.
Right.
It got to be too junky. A few little trinkets here and there, but that I am working on that.
Yeah.
Very much so.
I can't wait. That is very much needed.
It's very much needed.
Because that makes the difference. So someone who I support Black businesses and very intentionally, and I go there to do multiple things, not just purchase from Black vendors, but I'll come there to promote and elevate their business through my social media platforms. And I don't want to do that if you're a terrible vendor. Exactly. And I'm not going to. So when I see that you don't have pride, or you don't put personal development at the forefront of being better, especially when I see you at the same events or I see you at multiple events and it's the same etiquette or poor etiquette, I'm definitely not going to help you get more likes or more. I'm not going to share your business and things of that nature. And I would expect the same if I conducted myself that way. So, and then also when there's multiple businesses that have the same sort of similar product as you, I'm going with the person who's like, there's multiple chocolatiers or people selling chocolate or jewelry or soaps, whatever they're selling. I'm going to the one who's the more, kind-hearted, the more unique, the more professional.
Right, exactly.
And if that ain't you, I don't care if their price isn't higher.
Exactly.
It's how I'm treated that's going to keep me in the door and keep me being a repeat customer. And you, like you said, your first representation of yourself is when that person comes up to greet you or comes to check out your table, you're eating and you're doing all the stuff that Stacey laid out. That kills your sales.
It definitely does. And I have been eating, it gets a little slow. You eat somebody,
right.
come, you be like, hey, hold on, sorry. Like there's a certain way that
For
you
sure.
put your food to the side. You put your phone down. I mean, you know, life still goes on.
Yeah.
You just put everything to the side and you greet them.
And what I love about, I've even seen your husband step in for you while you.
Oh yeah, that's the manager. Oh yeah.
Yeah, so you found ways to make sure you're always giving your best foot forward, and you know, so I give you props for that.
And then I just want to say this
Yeah.
really quickly on that note. Even if they don't buy anything at that time, they take your card, they take your information, they might use you later.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna give you a prime example. I just did a vending event like the beginning of December out
Right.
East Pittsburgh at the Post or whatever.
Yeah.
And this family came in and she was like, "Oh my goodness, your chocolate looks so good, but you know, it's the holidays." And I was like, oh,
Money's
okay.
tight.
That also. And you know, the kids is like, "Oh mommy, we want chocolate." She bought one thing, but that's beside the point. I gave her my card. She read my card, walked away, came back. So now in November, I will be out East Allegheny High School doing a vending event for her because she's the chairperson.
Ooh.
So you just never know.
know.
Just because they don't buy anything or they don't spend a whole lot of money, they don't have to spend anything. It's the networking. It's the connections for me.
Yep.
East Allegheny High School. Come to find out, her daughter is in the same class with my godson.
Ooh.
They raise money for the band. She's like, "We don't have anybody there that does chocolate." Bingo.
Right.
I will be there in
And
November.
that's all because you didn't rub nobody the wrong way.
No, because when people don't buy anything, you be like, "Thank you for your time. Have an amazing day. Happy shopping," or whatever.
And I love that you said, because for when I go, I'll be on a budget. Because if I spend
every time you come to my table, I'll be like, "All right, what's your budget? How much can you spend?" Like, and it's okay
because I have to. I mean, like I teach financial literacy, so if I practice what I preach. So knowing that I would love to support everybody there, but no, we could get buck wild if we don't put a budget on what we can spend.
And you should. And I'm fine with that. And people don't realize that. Or just the etiquette of, "Oh, well, how much is this?" And I used to get mad. Well, why it cost so much? I don't get mad anymore.
Yeah, it's not for you.
So you want to know, not only is it not for you, now I go into detail, and I don't have to be like, "Oh, let me tell you where my chocolate comes from and how much time it took me to do this." And when you start saying that, "Oh, okay, well, all right, well, thank you." And I'll be like, "Well, thank you and have a nice day."
Right.
And then I did what you all recommended. I dropped some prices. Well, not dropped some prices. I added something to my table that was lesser in price. Remember, we had that conversation.
Sure did.
So there might be something that somebody wants, and it's really not in their budget to get something from me because they've already spent, or there's something that they want to get from somebody.
Right.
So now I do things a little bit different.
Absolutely.
So
yeah, and that was well within your right to say, you know what, I do want to appease to a different demographic, or I want to offer something for a different price point, and that's where you evolve and grow as a business owner, because now you're like, okay, we can still. I don't necessarily have to change my whole price point to appease one person or one group, but I can think of outside the box and try to still cater to someone who may have a smaller budget. Or so I love that, because a lot of people ain't doing that.
Right, because that'll be a part of the class that I do. Because when you go to do an event, you have to do your research.
Yes.
The location, look at the crowd, ask the person who is hosting the event, what is the age group?
Right.
You might get. I was downtown and I got a whole bunch of high school kids. They didn't have a lot of money.
Right.
They're sitting there adding their money together so they can get some chocolate off the table.
Right.
That's why I'd be like, okay, there's three of y'all, you don't have enough. Here's an extra pretzel.
Right.
Like, you have to be willing to do that. Not saying that you need to do that all the time, but you have to do your research on these events.
You're better prepared by knowing as much information as possible.
Right. You have to know your
And
target
not going
audience.
there, exactly. And not going there blind. I'm going to just set it up and I get what I get. Like, no, be very intentional about what you're trying to do. If the goal is to go there and sell out, make sure you have the right product that's going to match that target market.
Exactly.
So I love that. You giving gems. So I ain't going to hold you. That's about all we're going to get for that, because come to her masterclass when she got that established. I cannot wait. That's definitely going to be needed. So we got Valentine's Day coming up in about a month.
Yes. Yes.
I am very excited because you have been known to, and I think you've partnered with Bernard a couple of times with this, with erotic, different, fun chocolate, different, fun, erotic chocolate products. I have never experienced them, but I love the fact that, let's be honest, that is something that people can enjoy to experience, amp up Valentine's Day with their loved one, their wife, spouse, significant other, whatever you want to call it. So just talk a little bit about that and kind of what got you to that type of.
So that was, I started doing that in the very beginning
Okay.
because I did a lot of molds,
Got it.
and I used to sell sex toys. I used to sell pure romance,
Okay.
and I just recently sold bedroom candy also, but
Mm.
it was too much. I had to leave things alone. I had too much on my plate. But I had started doing chocolate penises
Okay.
maybe about 5, 6 years ago. And people were like kind of scared, like they were scared about it, unless it was like a private thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, so I put it to the wayside. And then it came up again up at Motivational Mondays. Once
Right.
again, shout out to Bernard for putting that together.
Yeah.
That he did the sexologist, and I was able to come up there and sell. I had what did I have? I had chocolate penis suckers.
Yeah.
They were flavored. They had nuts in them. They had pretzels in them.
Right.
I had penises. I had vaginas. In the center of the vaginas were strawberry flavored.
Love it.
I did breasts. They were more of molds and suckers,
Right.
per se. So I had started that years ago, and people were just afraid of it.
Right.
So if you ask me for it, I definitely will do it. I don't promote it as much because of the vending events, because people still bring their children in.
For sure.
Because
Yeah.
I have like a slideshow that
And you kind of have to save that for the 21 and older crowd, the bars,
Exactly.
cigar lounges,
places of that sort. But I
Yeah.
can tell you on February 10th
Okay.
is a motivational Monday.
Yes.
The sexologist will be there.
Yeah.
Not only will I be bartending that day,
Oh, I can't wait.
I will have a table and I will be vending those erotic chocolates.
So I love that because I didn't know the date. So the
It's
fact that-
February 10th.
February 10th. Make sure
Yes.
you're at Nobleman Cigar Lounge. Shout out to Bernard again, Motivational Monday. Again, I'm going to have that information in the description because if you've never been, I've been when the sexologist has been there, but I don't think it was been a combination of you both.
Okay.
I forget her name, but she's phenomenal.
Luann.
Okay.
Yeah, Luann, and I think Dion will be there. He was
Okay.
selling the bedroom candy.
See, yeah, so shout out to them. If you need things to come up and spice up the love life or spice up everything that's going on with the Valentine's Day, because I ain't gonna hold you, I don't like going out to no restaurants. It's always packed, overcrowded,
yeah,
expensive.
It's
So for me, it's going to be, let's spice it up at home. I might hit Stacey, hey, let me get some at home.
I just need to know your budget. I got you. I
Yeah,
got you.
so yeah, make sure you check out Stacey for that.
So that's for that. But in general, for Valentine's Day, that day also up there, I will be raffling off a basket, and you will win that basket right then and there.
Ooh.
And it'll be chocolate covered strawberries, some pretzels, and of course, I'm going to do cocoa bombs.
Yes.
And the cocoa bombs will be white chocolate, and they will turn pink, purple, or red
Okay.
after you add your hot water. I'm still working on that.
I love that.
And I'm still working on a little menu here, trying to add something different in there. I'll figure
sure.
something out.
Oh yeah. So I'm gonna leave you with this. This is gonna be a fun question. What is your most memorable story or feedback that you've received from a customer? Just like, because you're in the industry where you definitely want repeat clients or you get repeat clients. Is there anyone that's been like, they did an event and it went so well that they had to reach out to you, give you some feedback?
I am going to say, I've done so many events. I might have two here. So
Okay.
I did an event at St. Benedict de Moore in the church, like in their little basement section or whatever.
Okay.
And it was a Christmas event. And I'm in there. I have cocoa bombs. I'm all set up. And a lady walks in, and I explained to her what the cocoa bombs were. And she said, okay, I need them for my Christmas party. And I said, oh, okay. I said, well, you have to place a deposit She was like, pulled out the black card. Okay, I'm gonna tell you, she pulled out the black. So when I tell you I had knots in my stomach, I was like, this is like the biggest purchase that anybody has ever made.
I love that.
She pulled out the black card and said, oh no, honey, I'm going to pay you in full.
Wow.
And it was Janice, I know I'm getting ready to screw up her name, Janice Burley from the August Wilson Center. So she has some type of corporate Christmas party going on.
Right.
And I did the little gifts that she gave to them, the Coco bombs. And that was a hefty order. I don't want to say what the price was.
No, nor sure.
But it was a hefty, hefty order. And I had her come pick it up. I didn't even deliver it. I put it in bags. So all she had to do was give it to the people.
Love that.
She came down to the Pittsburgh Black Market. And I had her pick them up, and she was like, I'm outside. And Todd was like, make her come in. I said, no, I don't want to make her come in.
Right.
Which I should have, but I didn't. I took everything out.
Right.
And she loved it. But the problem was, and we talked about this in class, the follow-up.
Yeah.
I didn't do the follow-up. That was 2 years ago. I could have been doing something not just for Christmas, but like any event that she has going on down there.
Right.
That was one of the most memorable. The second one, I want to say there's a few of them. I like that I get the emails for repeat. Like Shayla Hawkins with the Pittsburgh Black Market.
Yeah.
PWN, the Professional Women's Network with Danielle Parsons. Like I am a repeat vendor.
Shout out to her. She was just on a telecast recently.
I get repeat emails from these people. Shout out. Like I have the best customers.
Yeah.
I have somebody that orders like every quarter because she has like all these kids.
Yeah.
So every quarter she's like, okay, this is my budget. This is the kid. This is what I want. Do your magic. And I'll be like, okay. And she's been rocking with me for like the past 3 years.
Love that.
I have somebody that's been rocking with me for almost since the beginning, like almost 8 years. And I just did customer appreciation for them and gave her like little boxes.
Yes.
You know, I gave them like little treats and stuff.
Yes.
So like those are memorable moments for me, that feedback. That the repeat customers.
Absolutely.
You're a repeat customer, so I thank you.
No, for sure. Oh yeah. And I tell people all the time, I buy from my friends. So I could go to a vendor event and see you and another chocolate person. I'm buying from my friend first. Not that they're not good and I still might get something, but once I build a relationship with you, rapport, bro, I'm a customer for life.
For life.
Like,
I love that.
Now, I ain't saying that every time we see each other, I can afford to buy. But
exactly
like you said. Exactly. Like,
the support is there, even if you don't buy nothing.
And I think I had a post recently, you can show support in other ways other than monetarily all the time.
Yes.
And so anytime I got like 100 new friends, I'll hit the little 3 dots on S&S Chocolate page and invite those 100 new friends that I made to check out her page. And that's what I want to see more of our people in our community doing. Like, you don't always have to give monetarily all the time to show support.
The referrals. A referral goes a long way.
Yes. Yep. Hence why I do this podcast, to make sure, hey, you know what? I got a homegirl. She do chocolates. Let me link y'all up so y'all can collab and see if y'all can do something. So actually, are you doing, other than Nobleman, are you doing any other collaborations for Valentine's Day?
No, that's the only one that I have going on. And then the one that I'm doing for myself up at World Class Tavern.
Gotcha.
So the proceeds go, but I'm still going to have Valentine's Day stuff for that.
Gotcha. Okay. So yeah. So with that being said, let's make sure people know how to follow you.
Okay. So on Facebook, you can reach me at Stacey Lowe, STACEYLOWE.
Yes.
On the business page, it's S&S Chocolates, and it's spelled CHOCOLATEZ. It's different than right. It's important. Instagram is the same. It's _S_SCO. I always spell CHOCOLATEZ. You can email me at snschocolates@gmail.com because that is how I am taking orders now. So you could call me up. We could talk about it. But then I get your email. I send you the invoice. It has everything. out there, the price, if you get a discount, you might.
Yeah.
The taxes, all the fees, everything is listed. So there's no question about what you're getting.
Right.
I learned that in the class too.
Absolutely.
So I learned that from Roxanne. Shout out Roxanne.
Yes.
I learned that from her.
Happy belated birthday to her. Yes. Her celebration was last night.
That was amazing.
Yeah, I couldn't be there, unfortunately. But yeah, so definitely make sure y'all check out S&S Chocolate. Please make sure you're liking, subscribing, and sharing this episode. We want to make sure we continue to elevate our people in our communities when we talk about finances, and then elevating and highlighting Black businesses. Stacey Sherer, thank you for joining me.
One more thing to add.
Oh, absolutely.
If you don't mind.
No, not at all.
So for the month of January, all of the chocolate covered strawberries are $25 a dozen. Okay. Doesn't matter which ones you want, you can get those. The cocoa and coffee bombs are normally $12 each.
Okay.
For the whole month, they are $10 each. Ooh. If you buy 4 or more, they are $8. And all the pretzels, doesn't matter if you get them flavored, decorated, they are $20 a dozen. Ooh. And I'm doing this for the whole month of January.
Okay.
Because it is my birthday month.
Yes.
My birthday is
in
Wednesday.
3 days, right?
Yes, my birthday is Wednesday. So in honor of my birthday, I am doing like this amazing sale.
Absolutely. And again, I'm going to make sure that all that information's in the description box. So how you guys can take advantage of the sale. I'm sure it's a link.
They could email me.
I'll have her email, and then you'll email Stacey, and then you can take advantage of the promotion she's running. So we'll definitely make sure, and I'll probably be working on edit this thing tonight and have it ready to go as soon as possible. So
sounds good.
But yeah, with that being said, like I said, like, subscribe, and share to the podcast. Make sure you guys are elevating and helping us elevate and highlight Black businesses and Black business owners. Stacey Sherer, I'm so appreciative.
I thank you so very much for having me.
This was a long time coming.
Yes, I felt bullied, but it's okay. It's okay.
Well, only because I love you, and I want to make sure
I appreciate
I'm doing, you know what I mean? I got to have all my friends on my podcast to make sure I'm highlighting what they're doing, because I got some sponsorships flowing this year, and I got some things coming, so I got to have all my top people on, so then
I'm getting money, you see me, stack it up to the ceiling. If you're looking for me, you know just where to find me.
Once you heard this voice,
I'm on a pod with TC, with TC. Oh, I'm on a pod with TC, with TC.